I started this YouTube channel as a way to share my journey of being a young mom and a young homemaker and learning new skills and just kind of the things that I'm learning and taking you guys along with me as I learn what it's like to be a mom and a homemaker. And so in this video, I want to show you guys some of the stuff I'm learning, like how to sew, as many of you guys know. I want to share a fun project with you guys, show you a couple recipes, and talk about something that has been probably the biggest game changer in motherhood for me so far. Before we dive into all of that and talk about recipes and lessons and all those sorts of fun things, I wanted to give you a quick preview of what I'm making this week. This is going to become the Ruffle brunch set from Matchy Matchy Sewing Club. And the spoiler alert is that it turned out so darling and was such a fun make. I have been wanting to get better at cooking with whole chickens. They are just really easy to source, and also you can use the bones for bone broth, something that I have been wanting to do. And so I have made it a goal to try and cook with whole chickens more often. And a couple weeks ago, I was at my sister's house and they had made chicken salad, and that is one of those meals that I have to be reminded to make. I have to remember that it exists. I have to see someone else do it. And then once I do, I always think, I'm going to make that when I get home. So I did. We had a batch of chicken salad in our fridge for a couple days, and it was really easy to feed to the baby. We could put it on a sandwich, and all with just cooking and shredding up a whole chicken that I made in the Instant Pot. So if you are like me and you need to be inspired to make chicken salad, even though it's a really simple meal, here is your inspiration to do so. Meals like this also remind me that simple sustenance for your family is such a wonderful thing. Not every meal has to be super fancy and Instagram worthy, or really even something that you're super, super excited to eat. Now, obviously, I try not to make bad food, but if we just feel meh about a meal, that's fine. It's totally fine. As long as it fills our bellies in a somewhat healthy way, I am totally good with that. I am so excited to introduce to you guys today's video sponsor, Ritual. Ritual is a brand that does the work for you, so you have the peace of mind knowing what's going in your body. Symbiotic Plus is a 3-in-1 prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic that supports a balanced gut microbiome and digestive health. It was designed with 2 clinically studied probiotic strains to help with digestive discomfort like bloating and gas and support healthy regularity. I love that the Symbiotic is more than just a probiotic. It's also a prebiotic and a postbiotic all in one capsule. Prebiotics support the growth of beneficial bacteria, and postbiotics support the gut barrier function. Like I said, Symbiotic Plus contains 2 of the world's most clinically studied probiotic strains because quality is more important than quantity when it comes to the strains in your probiotics. Aside from all of the things that Symbiotic does for me, I love how easy it is to take it. You can take it any time of day with or without food, and it tastes minty, so it's never hard to get down. It doesn't taste bad, and I love that about it. On top of that, it's shelf stabled, so it never has to be refrigerated, and it's subscription based, so you don't run out. Consistency is key when it comes to a probiotic, so I love this about Ritual. If you are ready to give Ritual a try, you can use my link in the description and my code SweetSunny25 to save 25% off of your first month. Thanks again to Ritual for sponsoring today's video. Our mornings around here are like clockwork. We like to get everyone fed, mom and dad caffeinated with a nice little latte, and everything cleaned back up. Having a morning routine like this has been so lovely. It makes me look forward to mornings, even though a lot has to happen in order to start the day off right. I do really savor our slowish mornings in our PJs with our coffees. I find it really inspiring as the homemaker to care for my family in this way and have this little chunk of family time. I notice that when our mornings go differently, the day is just not as good. It is so good and lovely to start each day caring for my family and with my family. This is something I've grown to really look forward to. I already mentioned that this week I am making the Ruffle brunch set from Matchy Matchy Sewing Club. This was one of the more challenging makes I've tackled. I had so much fun making it, and I do want to make another set, but this was definitely one of the more challenging makes I have ever attempted in my sewing journey thus far. So this set is actually not for me. It is for one of my dear friends who is about to have a baby. And I just love the idea of making a really cute matching set that I assume will be used for pajamas for the mom, because the baby always gets plenty. And I really wanted her to feel supported. And that is exactly what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, as far as like the biggest game changer in motherhood for me. I am very fortunate, as many of you guys know, because many of you guys follow them as well. I have older sisters, all of which have children. So I am very fortunate to have a very strong community of moms around me, experienced moms, new moms like me. I have a lot of friends who I was pregnant at the same time as, and that has been the single most impactful thing for me as a mom. On top of that, I had the immense blessing of being pregnant at the more or less exact same time as one of my sisters. She was pregnant with her 8th while I was pregnant with my 1st, and we were due about a day apart. So that provided to me someone who is obviously much more experienced than me in the exact same phase of childhood with me. And that was and is still so immensely valuable. There's so many times that I maybe would have worried or overthought, and I could look at my older sister and say, oh, well, she brought him to that event. Clearly, I don't need to worry about bringing my daughter to that event. It was and is still a constant lesson in how a more experienced mom would handle certain situations and navigates these different stages of our child's life. And that, I cannot believe that God blessed me so much in that way. Now I understand that most mothers will not be in that exact situation. However, I do firmly believe that having a community of mothers that are in the same phase of you or ahead of you or behind you even is such an immensely valuable thing. Even if you just get to observe how they mother or ask them questions, see, okay, I'm not crazy for worrying about that, or they don't worry about that, maybe I shouldn't. And just observe those little things. It is so immensely valuable, and the thing that has changed motherhood the most for me to be in a community of other moms. Though I am a very social person, it is not my natural lean to make and have a ton of friends. It is definitely something where I have to step out of my comfort zone to follow up with people after an event, to actually text them, to actually invite them over. And that is something that I am trying really hard to step out of my comfort zone more often with, because I have noticed and learned just how valuable having other mom friends is. I'm trying to challenge myself in that way. So if you are also not naturally the type to follow up and really establish friendships, I hope that it's encouraging to you that it doesn't come easy to me either, and that is something that I'm trying to prioritize during this season of my life. On a little bit of a lighter note, we are a household that gets really excited whenever football season rolls around. So if you are also a household that likes to watch the NFL, you know that we are inching into a very fun season of the year. So my husband and I decided that we wanted to kick off football season with a really fun meal. And we have not made nachos for dinner in a very, very long time. And we knew that would be super fun. And this has definitely inspired me to make this more of a meal formula and make it way more often. If you don't know what I mean by meal formula, that's a term that we use in our house and my family to describe a meal where you shake up all the variations but keep the same format. And so by that, I mean the nacho formula would be some sort of carb with the chip, or my sister sometimes uses quinoa, some sort of protein like ground beef, shredded chicken. You get the idea. And then all of the toppings, and those can obviously range with whatever you are feeling. Having different meal formulas helps me stay inspired with my meals, but also not overwhelmed. This has definitely been something that I am trying to get better and better at. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video was inspiring to you in your homemaking. I will see you guys for another video next week.